leaving anyone behind. We're never going to burn that bridge. I'm not better than anybody. You're not better than anybody. Act as if. What do business people do? Well, they tend to dress nice.
Yeah.
They tend to, have a briefcase, and they always go out on meetings, and they're talking to people, and they're trying to make a sale.
I completely agree with that.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another fire episode of the Winners Club podcast, #1 business podcast in the United States. My name is Brian Tran, your host. I got my #1 co-host over there, PJ Padua.
Yo, what's up, guys? How you doing?
And today we got a real fire episode for you guys because I think that this was very critical and crucial in allowing me to be successful at an early age. But PJ, why don't you do your little spiel?
Gotcha, guys. Over here at the Winners Club podcast, guys, we are a business podcast. We're a mindset podcast, but ultimately our goal here is to share our success stories, our business tips, and anything that's going to help you be a boss in business.
So let's go right into the subject. Hit him with the subject again, PJ.
All right, guys. So today's going to be a juicy one. This is super important for anybody starting out in business, trying to achieve greater things in their life. I want to talk to you, Brian, about leaving your old life and your old friends to achieve the life that you want.
Powerful.
How do you feel about that, man?
I'm going to give you guys a couple tips. When it comes to, every decade, right, you're supposed to reinvent yourself. Now, you don't have to wait for you to be 30. If you're in your 20s, don't wait till your 30s. You can reinvent yourself today. But they typically say that in your 20s, you're somebody, in your 30s, you're somebody, and in your 40s, you become, you're constantly morphing. Along the way, you're going to have friendships that you may feel are super meaningful, but eventually it comes a time when you will outgrow. But my one rule when it comes to this is that you never burn bridges.
Yeah.
And you keep every relationship that you have alive. Respectful, never talk down, never, although we may be elevating and your other sphere or your old sphere may be kind of doing the same thing, you have to understand that in life, some people don't want to chase that growth and do big things, and that's okay. And so that's why I say that with your statement, we're not leaving anyone behind.
Yeah.
We're never going to burn that bridge. I'm not better than anybody. You're not better than anybody. In the eyes of the good Lord, we are all the same. We're all equal.
Yeah.
But we're on a different path and we're on a different journey. And the journey that you may be on today may be different than the one that you were on yesterday. And so it's okay if maybe you drift apart a little bit.
Yeah.
It's okay if you don't talk to them as much, right? And at the end of the day, we only have 24 hours.
Yeah.
And we only have so much time when it comes to balancing your life, your work, your family. And so they understand.
Yeah.
But what I do is every now and again, I check in.
Yeah.
And I post on social media. I still make sure to comment on their posts.
Yeah.
I make sure to, if there's a big event, I show up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't hang out with the same circle I did 10 years ago, like on a daily basis, on a, every weekend.
Yeah.
Because I'm not partying like that anymore. I'm not, doing all the old things that I used to do.
Yeah. Man, that's a lot of powerful stuff. And you hit on a lot of key points that is really going to drive this podcast. What I want to ask, just clear and straight answer. Do you think it's necessary to leave your old friends in the beginning or trying to push away from them when you're trying to achieve greater success?
If they're up to, so there is a time when you should leave and leave the group. It's when they're up to no good.
Yeah.
It's when they're morally, ethically not good people.
Yeah.
They're causing harm to people.
Yeah.
Or they're very negative.
Yeah.
In those situations, okay, I would say 90% of the time it's better to just walk away and distance yourself from them. But again, don't burn bridges.
For sure.
But just, when they call, hey, I'm sorry, man, I'm working on X, Y, and Z. I'll try to make it. I don't think I can. Whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Right? Distance yourself. So that is the one time when I say, cut it. Right?
Yeah.
The other time is, yes, it is very necessary
Yeah.
to disappear
Yeah.
for a little bit. respectfully, meaning like, you know, do what I just did. Hey, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it this weekend, guys. Hey, sorry, I can't hang out this weekend. I'm going to be working.
For sure.
Because I said that a lot too. My first 10 years in business, I worked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go out on weekends and party like all this stuff. I didn't go to EDC.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go to Coachella.
Yeah.
You know, I made the sacrifices because going there in my current situation it was not aligning with what I wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
Right? The people that I wanted to meet and network with weren't there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you disappear for a little bit. You work on yourself. You align yourself with people and mentors that are 1 to 2 years ahead of you, crushing it in the field that you want to be in.
Yeah.
Crushing it at life, and living the life that you want to live, right? So, yeah, you have to leave that group and move on.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with that. There has to be some type of shift in you where you realize and you're aware that you're not going to get where you want to be, you know, with the people who are drinking every day, partying every day. And that's on you. You need to understand that and distance yourself. But there are ways, and obviously it's tough for people, right? But like you said in the beginning, because I just talked about this with my girlfriend. You know, she's starting all her endeavors and her entrepreneurial journey, and you know, she was having a hard time leaving her friends behind, right? Because a lot of them, you know, make their comments and stuff, like not really too crazy, but you know, she's a bodybuilder and she has to say no a lot. So she was like telling me like, oh, it's really tough, and I was just like, you know, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be lonely,
Yeah.
but you don't have to completely like disregard them,
Yeah.
right? And if you want to say hi to them, like, yo, say hi to them, but you just do it because you want to. And I think that's a good way, like just like you said. So
Yeah.
100%. But I want to go and ask not just the friends part, but how about like leaving your life for yourself? What's your advice when you need to get to the next place and leaving all your bad habits behind and your old identity to create this new one?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
So I'm actually doing that right now. Believe it or not, I'm 31,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking at where my next 10 years are going to be. What does my 30s look like?
Yeah.
And it does entail a lot of work. So I don't want people to associate me with being a realtor anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's a decision that I've kind of made. Like, I'm not leaving the business. I'm still going to do things in the real estate field,
Mm-hmm.
but the buying and selling, I don't want people to be like, oh, he's just a realtor.
Yeah.
So we're working on that, and that's why we're building out the courses. I'm very intentional with what we're putting out on social media,
Mm-hmm.
meaning like, okay, does this help my story, or
Mhm.
does this kind of contradict it?
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing things like that. The other thing that we're working on is, you know, it always helps. I'm starting to read more
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I don't have the answer.
For sure.
And so when you don't have the answer, you have to rely on others.
Yeah.
And I do it in the form of books,
Mm-hmm.
podcasts, and I take it in, and then I'm constantly putting it up against what I believe in,
Mm-hmm.
and we're changing things that way. So that's what I'm working on. But yeah, I'm actually doing this now. I'm not leaving my old groups. I still
Yeah.
hang out with them.
Yeah.
But as I'm embarking on this new journey,
Yeah.
we're building out the courses. We're building out the community. We're building out a whole new industry, really.
For sure.
I have to start hanging out and associating myself with those people.
For sure. For sure.
Same thing,
Yeah.
right? Like
it's a new process for sure.
mhm.
I would say I want to ask, how are you really going about it? Like maybe like specifically, like are you getting rid of all the wins in your head? Like, oh yeah, I did this, but starting from scratch. Like I have nothing. Is
You know, you never have to start from nothing, because over time,
mm-hmm.
you stack the knowledge, you stack the wins.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not starting from nothing, because you can't take away what I know.
Yeah.
You can't take away my ability to sell, my ability to communicate with others, my ability to build relationships,
Yeah.
right? Like, I may not be in that industry. I
Mhm.
may not know how to run and operate
Mm-hmm.
this new endeavor that we're taking down, but at least I know the basics.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, we can kind of go from there. and I'm just talking to more people. I'm putting myself in a position to learn, absorb, and have more communications with more people.
I like it.
And then we'll figure out who's who and who's real and who do I gravitate towards, and that's the next chapter.
Yeah. I mean, this might be a very general question, but would you say it's just a form of just not looking back and looking completely forward to what's the next Mr. Brian Tran?
Man, that's a tough one. No, I still look back. Because everything that I've done, it's still who I am.
Yeah.
So I'm not like, that doesn't go away.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not focusing on that and putting it out into the world.
Yeah.
The old me.
Gotcha.
So now it's like, who's Brian Tran?
Mm-hmm.
He's no longer a realtor, right? He's no longer just a real estate flipper. He's a business magnet,
Yeah.
you know, and that's kind of like like what I'm more leaning towards. They call me, I want to be the next Baby Buffett, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so that's it's like identifying what you want to be known for and then putting out, you know, like publicity basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like PR. That's how people kind of get out there. And now with social media, you can do that.
Yeah,
and
sure.
What you consume it helps you become who you are, because depending on what you consume, that helps you kind of push out different knowledge.
Definitely.
Like back in my early 20s, all I talked about was real estate.
Yeah.
But not like flipping, but like, oh, the market's good. Now this is where I would buy. This is where, you know, if you were to sell this, you buy this. But now I don't consume that information anymore. So when people talk to me, I don't talk about like buying in this neighborhood, selling in this neighborhood. I'm more talking about business as a whole and my new endeavors and stuff like that to kind of get people assimilated with that.
Yeah, I like it, man. I want to ask this question that just came across my head. For everything that we just said, let's bring it back to our avatar, Lil Timmy.
Yeah,
shout out to Lil Timmy. We haven't talked about him in a while, but if anybody's just listening, Lil Timmy is our example guy, our avatar, who's trying to make it very new into this world. But what is your best advice for somebody who is trying to get rid of their old identity and develop a new one, right? And this guy is maybe just everything is going wrong.
Yeah.
Like fat, broke, you know, no girlfriend, no business, bad habits, drink, smokes, parties, but wants to get to become someone great. Maybe like someone like you or, you know, someone.
Well, Lil Timmy hits home because Lil Timmy was me back in 1920. You know, most people try to discover who they are in college, right? And as you approach the end of college and you're like, okay, where do I want to work? What career path do I want to go down? I've been there.
Yeah.
And nobody has the answer. But you have to, at some point, dream.
Yeah.
And then act as if. I'm not saying be fake, but I grew up in Oakland, kind of ghetto. My vocabulary, kind of ghetto. My ebonics comes out. It still can come out every now and again. But you start to wonder, like, okay, well, I want to be a good businessman.
Yeah.
I don't know what business I'm going to get into. I ended up in real estate. But I said, okay, what does a good businessman look like?
Yeah.
Well, first off, they don't talk like ghetto.
Yeah.
So you drop that.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Second, what do they talk about, right? And at some point you don't know. And you're like, okay, well, I know they read a lot, right?
Yeah.
They read a lot of business books.
Mm-hmm.
So you go pick up the business books, you start reading it.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to start putting those ideas and their, like, what you think they consume into your head, and eventually you become it.
Yeah.
Right? Before I was in real estate, I just read a bunch of real estate books and I just kind of regurgitated the information.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually you do it so much and then you actually start practicing it.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, it becomes who you are.
Yeah. It becomes a part of you.
Yeah. So same thing. If you're like this broke, fat kid, well, okay, if you don't want to be fat, what do the fit people do? They work out.
Yeah.
They eat good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you may not know the exact micronutrients or macronutrients, like 40% carbs, 40% protein, 20% fat. You may not know that, okay? But
you could learn.
You could, but like just in the beginning, okay, I think fit people run.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
they
yeah.
eat, they portion everything out.
For sure.
I think they, they consume less than what they burn.
Yeah.
Right? Great.
Yeah.
And then you just do it.
Yeah.
You start acting as if you're an athlete.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
That's what I mean by when I say act as if.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you start taking that baby step, then you can start maybe going down a little bit more deeper and, honing in on the details.
For sure. 100%. I think
Same
that's
thing with business too.
Yeah.
Act as if. What do business people do? Well, they tend to dress nice.
Yeah.
They tend to, have a briefcase, and they always go out on meetings, and they're talking to people, and they're trying to make a sale.
Yeah.
So you do the same thing.
Yeah.
Then eventually you become it.
That's actually really true. I don't know about the briefcase anymore.
No, not anymore. Yeah, I don't have a briefcase, but I used to.
Yeah,
I used
yeah.
to go around with a briefcase, notepads, sit down with people, write notes.
Did it help you?
I don't know, man. Yeah, I think so. It kind of got me it just got me kind of just doing the activity.
It boosted the confidence a little bit.
And then you start to learn, like, okay, this is what I actually need to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I used to wear a suit for 9 years, like 8 years before COVID, like 8 years every day, because realtors wore suits.
Yeah.
I wore a suit every day.
Yeah.
And made my phone calls every day.
Yeah.
Because that's what they told me they did, and that's what I thought, every realtor did, and so that's what I did.
Yo, I like it. So really what I'm picking up from everything that you're saying is to act as if, right? To look at your life already, your identity that you carry, and be aware of the problems that you're having, right? And figure out, like, what is it that got you there, and just stop doing that and move on to the next, right? What's going to get you the opposite result of exactly where you're at. Love that, man.
Baby steps, 1% better every day. And you'd be so surprised. Like just making that one little adjustment every day. It's better if you can just drop all your bad habits, but if you can't, attack it one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key. Like, and I'm learning that even with now, writing the book.
Yeah.
Working out.
Yeah.
I want abs, stretching.
Yeah.
Right. I used to be like, oh man, I hate stretching.
Yeah.
But when I just broke it down to like doing it for 5-10 minutes, and now I'm obviously getting it up to like 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's like just a little bit every day. And then you'd be so surprised how much more flexible you get.
Yeah.
Or how much more you can accomplish after 4 or 5 months. Like I've been doing it for 4 or 5 months. Like just every day stretching a little bit. And I can feel like I'm still so far away from my toes.
Yeah.
Getting a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Same thing with life. Same thing with business.
Always evolving, man.
Yeah.
I love it, man. We're going to cut the podcast there. Appreciate to everybody listening. Hey, all the TikTok followers, I see you in here, man. I appreciate you guys. But we'll see you guys on the next one. Be sure to share this with a friend, somebody that you feel like this could bring a lot of value into it. And guys, comment, like, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Follow us on Spotify, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.